In the shadows of Japan, some legends never sleep. Forests where a long neck stretches under the moonlight. Abandoned school bathrooms where a red cloak asks its deadly question. And old museum halls where dolls move, but only when no one watches. Tonight, Mika and Aya step beyond familiar grounds. This is the beginning of Hyakki Yagyō, the parade of 100 demons. Every legend, every shadow, every whisper will be uncovered. Are you ready to follow them into the unknown? Graduation day had come and gone. The school corridors where Mika and Aya had faced whispers, shadows, and the impossible were now silent, and yet the memories lingered. Some mysteries, once seen, never truly leave you.
Aya, we survived all of it. The 13th step, the gym, the archive. What if we could share this?
You mean make a channel? Record everything we discover?
Exactly. People need to know, and we might uncover even more. If the archive and those boundaries still exist, there's no way this is over.
So they did. Mika and Aya launched their channel, Whispers Beyond Archives, a place to record sightings, legends, and unexplainable phenomena.
Our first video, should it be about the school, or should we go somewhere new?
New. We've seen what's here. Now it's time to see what's out there. Japan is full of forgotten forests, abandoned shrines, and hidden villages. Every legend, every warning, maybe they're all connected.
Their plan was simple. Travel to the sites, capture evidence, and investigate. But the shadows they had encountered in school were nothing compared to what waited outside. Because the boundaries were failing, and the world beyond had started to awaken.
Camera check, flashlight check, notebook check. Aya ready?
As ready as I'll ever be, but something feels different. Like they know we're leaving.
And perhaps they did. Somewhere, far across Japan, the ancient archive, now a network of forgotten knowledge, watched the new observers carefully. Every step, every camera angle, every whispered tale would be recorded.
First stop the moonlit forest in Kyoto. If the legends are true, we'll see why people never return after dark.
Graduated, free, equipped. But freedom did not mean safety. The world beyond the school waited alive with stories, shadows, and monsters. Mika and Aya sat at their desks, laptops glowing in the dim light of their apartment. The world of legends was vast, and every new video needed a spark, something terrifying, yet real.
Let's check the forums. There are always reports we haven't seen yet.
Someone here said they saw a long-necked ghost right in a quiet forest near Kyoto. They called it Rokurokub.
Rokurokub, that's one of the classic ones. People say its neck stretches unnaturally long, appearing at night, watching travelers, and vanishing without a trace.
And someone actually claimed to see it? When?
Last week. They posted photos blurry, but the shadow definitely elongated. Could be perfect for the next video.
The two leaned closer to the screen, absorbed in accounts, photos, and whispered warnings. Each post carried a trace of fear, a hint that something unseen lurked just beyond the camera's lens.
Do we really want to go there? It's a forest at night.
That's the point. If we want to show our viewers something real, we have to experience it ourselves.
Mika and Aya sat in Mika's room, laptops open, notes scattered everywhere. The moonlit forest report lingered on the forum. Accounts of a long-necked figure appearing at night.
We can't just go in blindly. Look at these posts. Everyone says it moves silently, mostly at night.
And some even mention you can't stare directly at it. There are things that might protect you, but we need to be careful.
They pored over old texts and folklore guides, protective charms, white cords to bind, light sources, even simple rituals noted in old manuscripts. Each detail was studied, debated, and noted.
Flashlights, cameras, our phones, maybe a rope or talisman. We need a plan. One person never goes alone, and if anything seems wrong, we retreat immediately.
Agreed. No heroics. We're here to observe, document, and survive.
Maps were drawn, gear packed, and a checklist created. Every precaution considered. The moonlit forest no longer seemed like a vague legend. It was real, and they would face it with preparation, not recklessness.
This is only the beginning. Whatever we see there, we bring it back safely. We don't chase it, we respect it. Document first, then retreat if needed.
Then let's do this carefully. No shortcuts, we can't afford mistakes.
Plans were made, gear packed, directions noted. Before venturing further, Mika decided to share what she had learned.
The long-necked ghost, known as Rokurokubi, is said to be a female spirit from centuries ago. Stories describe women who were wronged, betrayed, or cursed. Their anger or sorrow so intense that it transformed them into something unnatural. At night, she stretches her neck impossibly long, often peering into homes, following travelers, or lurking near forest paths. Her presence is accompanied by a faint, eerie rustle, a whispering sound, as if the air itself warns you. Legends warn, if you meet her gaze or hear her whispers, misfortune will follow. Some disappear, some are never seen again.
In the darkness of the night, they would travel to the moonlit forest, where the long-necked ghost was said to appear. And as the moon rose, its pale light would guide, or perhaps mislead them.
Every story says she appears alone, in the dark. How are we supposed to even know if she's here?
That's why we're here, not to prove it exists, but to record the experience, the feeling, to see if the legend still lingers.
The forest outside Kyoto was quiet, almost too quiet. Mika and Aya huddled near a clearing, flashlights casting thin beams across twisted trees.
Some accounts say Rokurokub only appears when a boundary is broken, when the forest's sacred line, the invisible barrier that kept spirits hidden, is disturbed. That's why travelers see her suddenly, sometimes after ignoring warnings, or venturing too deep.
As Mika spoke, a cold breeze swept through the clearing, carrying the faint scent of earth and decay. The shadows seemed to twitch, stretching unnaturally in the moonlight.
I think I just felt something moving behind those trees.
Stay calm. Keep your flashlight steady. Whatever we encounter, we face it together. Remember, legends survive for a reason. They warn, they watch, they test our courage.
The forest seemed to hold its breath. Somewhere, beyond the tree line, the long-necked ghost waited, or perhaps something else entirely. And Mika and Aya were about to step beyond the veil of stories, into the unknown. The forest awaited beyond the town's edge, dark and whispering. The Rokurokubi was there, somewhere, unseen, but Mika and Aya were ready, prepared, calm, observers of the unknown, not heroes of the impossible. Their journey was about to begin, but carefully. The real encounter would have to wait. For now, research, preparation, and caution were their only weapons. The moon cast thin, silvery beams through the skeletal branches of the forest. Mika and Aya moved carefully, their flashlights piercing the darkness in narrow cones. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sent shivers down their spines.
Keep the camera steady. If we get a shot, we'll finally have proof.
I don't like this. Something's watching us.
From the corner of her eye, Mika glimpsed it first. A fleeting shadow stretching unnaturally. A slender neck twisted in the moonlight. A pale face turning just enough to catch her gaze before retreating behind a tree. The Rokurokubi had noticed them.
Shh, it's there. Stay calm. Don't make sudden moves.
I can't stop shaking.
They edged forward, each step measured, the forest floor treacherous beneath their feet. The Rokurokubi's elongated neck flicked silently between trees, always just out of reach, its eyes gleaming with uncanny awareness.
Focus on filming. Just get a glimpse. Don't let it see the camera.
For several tense minutes, they maneuvered through the forest, keeping the creature in view. The pale, twisted face emerged behind a tree, its long neck curling unnaturally, only to vanish as quickly as it appeared.
It's right there. Did you get it?
Maybe, but keep moving. Slow, quiet.
Suddenly, a branch snapped sharply nearby. The Rokurokubi's head whipped around, eyes locking on them. Its long neck slithered in the moonlight, inching closer. Heartbeats thundered in their ears.
Back slowly. Don't run.
They retreated carefully, step by step, camera recording every fleeting movement. The creature followed with measured curiosity, never rushing, just observing.
It's behind us. I can feel it.
Just a little further. We're almost out of its reach.
Finally, in a small clearing, the forest opened slightly. The Rokurokubi paused, its long neck arched, head tilting in eerie contemplation. It gave them a final glance, then retreated silently into the darkness.
It let us go.
But we got it on camera. We saw it. It's real.
The girls made their way back to the edge of the forest, hearts pounding, adrenaline still sharp. They had encountered the Rokurokubi, survived, and recorded proof. But the forest kept its secrets, and the creature remained elusive.
One day we'll understand it, but not tonight.
Next time, better prepared.
Do you like red paper or blue paper? Choose.
After the long-necked ghost incident in Moonlit Forest, Mika and Aya had returned home, shaken but resolute. They had barely processed what they saw, yet another mysterious report had appeared online.
Aya, look at this. Someone just posted about a red-cloaked figure in the school bathrooms. They say, it asks a question. Do you like red paper or blue paper?
Red paper, blue paper, that's the Red Cloak legend, isn't it? The one that attacks if you answer wrong.
The girls leaned closer to the screen, scanning multiple posts and threads. Each account repeated the same chilling pattern. Bathrooms, late hours, a figure in a bright red cloak, and a question that decided life or death.
We can't just read this. If people keep disappearing, we need evidence. But we have to be careful.
Careful? Okay, so what do we take?
They gathered their equipment. Flashlights for every shadowed corner, a camcorder to capture any sighting, small talismans, and protective charms from old folklore. Sea salt, known to repel restless spirits and legend. Phones, fully charged, for emergency calls.
Some sources say ghosts like this, like Rokurokubi or Red Cloak, react to salt, light, and talismans. Avoid direct eye contact, stay calm, keep the area illuminated. It's not guaranteed, but it's our best chance.
One rule, never separate. Stick together, and if anything feels off, retreat immediately.
Hours passed as they planned meticulously. They mapped the school bathrooms, marked escape routes, and rehearsed signals for emergencies. Outside, the night wind howled faintly, rustling leaves and whispering through the empty streets.
We go tomorrow night. Every precaution in place. We record everything. This is our responsibility, and our chance to understand.
And the sea salt our first line of defense.
With bags packed and lights ready, the girls prepared for what might be the most dangerous encounter yet. Outside, the school's shadows seemed to stir. Inside, the red cloak waited. And somewhere in the silence, the question lingered. Red paper or blue paper? The hallway was empty, flickering. Fluorescent lights cast long, jagged shadows along the cracked tiles and peeling paint. Water stains reflected dimly off the floor, and every metallic pipe seemed to hum with a distant, restless energy. Mika clutched her flashlight. Aya had holding the camcorder, the small bag of talismans and sea salt between them. Tonight, knowledge met fear.
Remember, one person doesn't go alone. Stick close, check every stall. Calm, steady.
And sea salt. If it comes close, we throw it.
They pushed open the old bathroom door. Damp tiles smelled of rust and mildew. Shadows curled unnaturally at the edges of the stalls, stretching like claws. Each dripping faucet sounded like a heartbeat in the silence.
Nothing yet. Keep your eyes open.
From the furthest stall, a whisper slithered through the air, almost human.
Red or blue?
The girls froze. Their hearts pounded in their throats.
Mika, it's here. I can feel it.
Ready? Hold the salt. Flashlight on. Camera rolling.
The stall door creaked open. A figure cloaked in red emerged, the hood tilting slightly as if sensing them. Every movement was deliberate, silent, the air around it chilling enough to make their breath visible.
Now.
The red cloak recoiled with a sharp hiss. The sea salt formed a fleeting, crackling barrier, forcing it back a step. Other talismans and light sources had no effect. This was a being of spirit, and only the salt held it at bay.
Only the salt works. Everything else useless.
Stay calm. Don't move too close. Observe. Record.
The figure drifted through the bathroom, stopping occasionally, as if testing them. Shadows danced violently along the tiles, contorting into grotesque shapes. A stall door trembled. A faint cough echoed, but the red cloak never fully revealed itself.
It's behind the last stall. Don't look directly. Throw salt if it comes closer.
Camera ready on your mark.
A sudden movement, a flash of red fabric. Aya tossed a pinch of sea salt. The figure recoiled again. The camcorder trembled in her hands, capturing the hood and the eerie presence, but never the face. They were close, yet too cautious to approach further.
That's enough for tonight. We've got footage proof. Retreat, carefully.
The girls backed out slowly, each step measured, the red cloak following for a moment before dissipating into shadow. The bathroom returned to silence. The salt had worked, but only just. Talismans, light, and prayers had no effect. This was a spirit, cunning and patient, watching and waiting.
We survived, barely, but the footage, it's real.
Yes, and we know something now. Sea salt is the key. Everything else, just distractions.
Back in Mika's room, the flickering desk lamp cast a warm glow on scattered notebooks, open books on urban legends, and the camcorder still recording faint static. The footage from the old-school bathroom played on the small screen, shadows flickering across their faces.
Look at this. The hood, the way it moves. No face, silent. Only the red fabric. And it recoils from salt.
Sea salt, that's the only thing that even slowed it down. The charms, lights, nothing. And it was close. Too close.
They paused the video, zooming in on the stall corners. The red cloak's presence lingered like a shadow frozen between frames. Mika took a notebook and started jotting down details. Movement patterns, the whisper, the reaction to salt.
If it's like the stories, a vengeful spirit tied to anger or obsession, it might only appear in enclosed spaces, bathrooms, locker rooms. But why ask? Red or blue? What does it gain from fear?
And why now? People have claimed to see it before, but this feels more intentional. Like it's waiting for someone to notice.
From the pile of books, Mika pulled a worn volume of folk remedies and exorcism techniques. Pages were dog-eared, illustrations of protective talismans smudged with age.
Salt can ward off spirits tied to anger or blood. Light can reveal them but not harm. Iron only repels weaker ones. Ah, look here. Drawing symbols, chanting phrases, or not meeting the eyes directly can provide temporary safety.
So sea salt is our first defense. And we need rules. No one goes alone. Flashlights, camcorder, phone. And don't stare at it.
They arranged the talismans, filled small pouches with sea salt, and made a mental map of the school bathroom layout. Every stall, every corner, every shadow was considered. It was their first real preparation for an encounter, a lesson in fear, patience, and observation.
We're not ready to confront it head-on, not yet, but we can be ready to survive, to observe, and to record everything.
And if it comes again, we'll know what to do. One step at a time, calm, steady.
A few nights later, the school bathroom loomed under the pale glow of the streetlights. Mika and Aya returned, backpacks loaded with sea salt, talismans, flashlights, and the camcorder. Every creak in the hallway felt amplified. Tonight, they were ready, or so they thought.
Remember the rules. Stick together, cameras rolling, flashlights steady, salt ready.
One step at a time. Don't panic and don't stare at it.
The bathroom door creaked open, darkness spilling into the hallway. Every stall seemed identical, shadows deepening with each step. A faint whisper drifted through the air.
Red or blue?
It's here. I can feel it moving.
Steady, watch the last stall. Let's see if we can capture it on camera again.
They advanced slowly, flashlights cutting narrow beams across the tiled floor. A faint flicker of red fabric appeared behind the farthest stall. The girls froze, breaths shallow, hearts pounding.
Throw salt if it comes closer. Camera ready.
Do it. It's moving toward the middle.
A pinch of sea salt scattered across the floor. The red cloak recoiled, hissing, forming a shimmering barrier. It paused, then seemed to study them, drifting just out of reach, hooded face hidden.
Keep the camera on it steady, don't blink.
They inched forward, careful not to provoke it. Every step echoed against the walls. At one moment the red cloak shifted, and for a heartbeat it seemed to extend toward them, its presence almost tangible.
And it's right there, behind the last stall.
Stay calm, record it, don't get closer.
The girls held their ground, shaking slightly. The figure's fabric swirled, hovering silently. Then, almost imperceptibly, it retreated back into the shadows. Their flashlights flickered, camcorders whirring as if straining to hold the image.
That's enough, we've got it. Time to retreat.
Slowly, don't turn your back, one step at a time.
Careful and deliberate, they exited the bathroom. The red cloak lingered in the shadows, unseen, patient. Sea salt had kept them safe, but it had been close, too close.
We survived again, barely, but we've captured evidence, and we know what works.
Next time, we'll be even more prepared, one step closer to understanding it.
The red cloak had tested them tonight. It waited in silence, patient, cunning, and unseen. The streets were quiet, and the city's hum seemed distant. Mika and Aya had just received a curious tip online. Visitors claimed strange shadows moving through the local museum at night. Blurry photos showed what looked like a small child wandering between exhibits.
Mika, look at this photo. It looks like someone's inside the museum after hours.
Yeah, but the museum's supposed to be closed, and these shadows, they move like a kid?
The girls scrolled through the forum, reading first-hand accounts. Some spoke of laughter echoing in empty halls, tiny footprints on polished floors, and whispers that vanished when approached.
Should we check it out? It could just be a prank, right?
We need proof, but let's be careful and not get inside yet. We'll figure out when the museum has that night event.
After a few calls and searching official schedules, they discovered a rare evening opening, a nighttime special exhibit, allowing visitors after dark. It would be their chance to investigate without trespassing.
Here it is, Friday night. That's when we can go. We'll need cameras, flashlights, everything.
And stay calm. Don't run off. Just observe.
Late at night, Mika and Aya received an unusual message on a folklore forum. A visitor claimed to have seen a child spirit wandering the halls of the Tohoku Folk Museum. The post included a shaky photograph of a small figure in a kimono, its face half hidden in shadow.
It giggles at night and moves the dolls around. Aya, should we go?
We've dealt with spirits before. Let's stay calm. Take it slow.
Equipped with flashlights, cameras, and a small recorder, they approached the museum. From the outside, the building looked normal. Yet the night exaggerated every shadow. Windows reflected the dim street lamps like cold eyes, and the stone steps stretched long under the moonlight.
Stay close and keep the lights low. We don't want anyone noticing us filming.
As they stepped onto the museum grounds, occasional visitors and night staff moved through the open entrance, forcing Mika and Aya to weave along the outer edges of the walkway. Shadows from exhibits and statues twisted unnaturally across the walls, and a faint sound, perhaps the wind, perhaps something else, whispered through the cracks in the old wood.
Do you feel that? Like something's watching us?
Yeah, just keep the cameras rolling. Observe. Nothing yet.
Once inside, the museum's vast hallways opened up. Wooden display cases and ancient dolls in kimono lined the floors. Shadows stretched along tatami mats and high shelves. Every creak of the floor echoed like a whisper.
Check the tatami exhibit. See those footprints?
Tiny footprints, too small to be human, were scattered around a corner of the tatami display. Small dolls lay tipped over as if they had been moved, or had moved themselves.
Wait, did you see that? A shadow it darted behind that screen.
On her camera screen, a fleeting glimpse of a small figure appeared, a child in a red kimono, face obscured by hair. It vanished almost immediately, leaving only the faint giggle echoing in the hall.
Keep recording. Don't get too close. It's just a child, or something pretending.
Play with me? Didn't it just say that?
The voice, soft and childlike, whispered repeatedly.
遊んで.
And Aya froze, hearts pounding. Every instinct told them this spirit wasn't malevolent, yet their nerves tensed at the unknown.
See? No aggression. It's curious. Let's keep our distance, but observe. Record everything.
As they cautiously circled the exhibits, small objects, tiny dolls, pieces of fabric, shifted slightly. A faint giggle followed them through the rooms, bouncing softly off the walls. Each step had to be measured, avoiding other late-night visitors while maintaining their evidence.
It's harmless, I think, but it's so quick, so playful.
Exactly. Let's get all the footage, then we can research it properly later.
That night, Mika and Aya left the museum without answers. What they had seen didn't feel dangerous, but it didn't feel ordinary either. Something about it stayed with them. Back home, they did what they had learned to do best. They researched old folklore books, academic articles, forgotten forum posts, stories buried deep beneath modern explanations.
Childlike apparition appears indoors, often near tatami rooms.
But none of them mention attacks, no injuries, no curses.
The more they read, the clearer the pattern became. Small footprints, soft laughter, a presence felt, but never violent. Then Mika stopped scrolling.
Aya, I think we got it wrong.
Wrong how?
The name appeared again and again, across centuries of records. Zashiki-warashi.
A yokai from Japan's Tohoku region. It appears as a small child, often wearing a red sleeveless jacket or kimono.
So it wasn't a ghost?
Zashiki-warashi were never known to harm. They played tricks, made noises at night. Sometimes caused sleep paralysis, but nothing more. In fact, they were believed to be something else entirely.
Households visited by a Zashiki-warashi were said to prosper. Good fortune, growing business, protection.
A guardian?
But the deeper they went, the story grew heavier. The legend wasn't born from comfort, but from survival.
During famines, families practiced mabiki, infant sacrifice, children who were never allowed to grow up.
So the stories turned guilt into protection.
What people couldn't face, they reshaped into folklore. A child spirit that stayed, watched, protected, and demanded only one thing: to be remembered.
So what we saw wasn't trapped, wasn't angry.
It was just there.
The museum wasn't haunted. It was inhabited. A place that carried history, memory, and a child who never left. Some spirits don't ask to be banished. They only ask to stay unseen and not forgotten. They didn't return at night. There were no special events, no empty halls, no locked doors quietly opened. They returned in daylight. The museum was open. Families walked past glass cases. Tourists snapped photos without stopping. Yet one exhibition hall remained deliberately dim.
This section, it's always darker. To protect the artifacts.
A reconstructed traditional room from Tohoku. Tatami mats, low tables, old toys arranged carefully in corners. This was where it had appeared before. At first, nothing. Then Mika froze.
Look at the floor.
Tiny footprint, too small for any child in the museum. They stopped right beside a wooden doll.
We didn't touch anything.
The camera rolled, and for just a moment, a faint shape reflected in the glass. A child-sized silhouette, watching, not approaching, not hiding, simply observing. There was no hostility, no sudden cold, no warning signs, only presence, and something else. Visitors lingered longer in this room. Children stood quietly. Adults slowed their steps without knowing why, as if drawn.
It's not trying to scare anyone.
It's keeping watch.
Some guardians don't protect by force. They protect by staying. Back home, they reviewed the footage again and again. No jump scares. No proof meant to shock. Just evidence meant to be understood.
Once you know what it is, it stops being frightening.
And starts feeling sad.
Zashiki-warashi are not monsters. They are memories given form. A reminder of what people once lost and what they hope to protect. If you ever encounter one, folklore warns, do not provoke it. Do not try to chase it away. And never forget why it exists. Would you feel He long-necked woman vanished into the forest, unseen. The Red Cloak tested them in the abandoned bathrooms. And the Zashiki-warashi silently chose its next witness. Shadows linger, and the stories are far from over. This is only the beginning of Hyakki Yagyō. Subscribe to follow Mika and Aya as they explore Japan's unseen horrors. And remember, the night watches back.